Testing. 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 Balance left, yet right hander, purple 53-1 into the left hander, trying to get the booster, and down to the second last corner where it's a downhill right hander, trying to get as much speed as possible and try to set up the car to the final corner. You want to get the best line to the line, or to the finish. On the front wheel, cross the line to go for an 18.5 as the first one. Now Chris followed behind, 17.5, so second quicker than Will. Meanwhile, Recon goes to P3 at 18.9. Go Chloe. 18.2 goes second quickest. Malak Mark 17.527 goes in P2. Harry invalidated, so he's going to go again. George goes P4. Matt goes top with 17.0. For Wish Axe and for a lap. Perhaps he invalidated his lap. Look at Harry's invalidated. Daniel, so going to the sector to get a launch up the hill. And now entering this right hander where it's you gotta like get the mark on it and then push the car back up. And then now entering the left hander. It's going to the end of sector 2 with a long right hander, try and keep the car tucked in. It will cause the car to go way off, but going into the next sector, trying to, or the final sector, or short hairpins. Second last corner, trying to get the cars much run. With 12 minutes to go, Daniel for Red Bull. Goes to P7. Which acts for his first lap goes P4. Good lap for him. Perhaps even validated again. Griminance invalidates, so he's going to go for another lap. Ryan, meanwhile, precise plot. First lap goes P2. About 3 tenths behind Matt. Harry goes per first sector. Little low battery, so he can try to go again. Well, yeah, Jake has invalidated. Trapsy's going to go for another lap, but then spins. So trying not to get hit the wall. She does. Jake invalidated. Well, from Harry, entering the left-hander, trying to get much energy, speed as possible to go to this right-hander. It will be a messy lap. It's on very old tyres, so it's might well just try and finish a lap. Try and get close to the curve as possible. Go for a Y line to finish it off. Goes P5 without having that much energy, so that's a shocker. And we got Grim. Going around the final corner. Across the line goes P6 on his first run. The old Stingers in the Mercedes comes around the final corner. We have every team in the grid except for 2 Hassets. Stingers goes P7 at the end. Trapsy for his first lap. P14. Mopsy P11, 18.5. Jakey boy, Jake, who has not set the lap time at the moment. There we got Isco start his lap. Right, AKB hasn't done his one at the moment. Oh! So it's a bit of a situation at the moment, but Tier 5 standings. I like Markley's 6 points ahead of Ricardo. Iliodio in the race, so not that keen on looking at the standing in the 5, but man like Mark leads the championship with 56 points. Can try to get a upper hand. Probably not. Meanwhile, Isco around the final corner for his first lap in the Red Bull. Was going to go again. I think he made a mistake. More battery. On final wheel, cross the line to start another lap. Here's man like Mark. P4. And just figuring on what to do. Getting out of the way. Unfire will invalidate, so they're just going to let AKB go. Isco matching in the first sector. And then for this tough uphill right-hander, which can cause a lot of people out. Got George, who is kind of a bit like getting out of the way of Isco's lap. 710's up and smashes on the curb. Well, AKB on low energy. And going into the final corner. Bit of a short run to the line. There's P15. Meanwhile, a man like Mark is going on a lap. Tenth up on George. First sector. Into this right hand, trying to not oversteer the car a lot, to try and keep minimum speed in, and now entering uphill as from said, when this track was added in real life in 2020, the roller coaster was going up and down. And George is on the fly at the moment, just trying to get the car working, get the car grooved. And the point of this is to try and get as much speed as possible around this track. And go around the final corner, the PRS done, it goes for 17.9 at the end, goes P7 at the end. For a man like Mark, bit of a curb and going for a short run to the line. Can he go quickest? No. He goes slower than his original times. That's interesting. So Chris taking the apex. Both apexes into the hairpin, trying to get a nice rotation. To put the car up the hill, short shift to get the car up the hill and keep good speed in. Improving a bit in the first sector, and going to the hairpin, decent speed, and now entering the double right-hander, which includes uphill right-hander, third gear. Keep minimum speed in. He did that perfectly, and now car goes downhill into this right-hander. The more important thing is trying to hit that apex, to try and put the car as wide as possible there. About a 10th up on his time. Then the purple second sector, when he goes in third gear, stay in third gear, and now moving the car all the way up to the line. Try not to let the car rotate through. And now crossing the line for a 17.4. He's improved on this lap, but stays where he is. On funny wheel, starting the lap. Minutes to go, so whoever needs to go for a lap has to go for a lap. Well, not see. Then stuff on this lap, trying to get the apex beautifully. About 1.5 seconds slower than Matt. Well, crossing the line, goes in the 118s, basically a second slower than his teammate, which is unsighting to see. Recon and validates. So I think behind, not on front wheel. Man like Mark. Gonna go into the pits. Okay, he docks into the pits, and Matt retires. Stingers might just go for retirement. See you, Louis. 2 minutes remaining. Is on a lap. AKB has unfunny wheel behind him. Turn 1. There might be a pressure on him because he has wheel right behind him. We'll look behind. I think AKB needs this more than Will, and Will backs off. But AKB invalidates, so that's a bit crucial moment there. Three tenths up. Recon is up on this time. Now entering the left-hander to get more speed and entering the final second last corner. Getting the apex to rotate the car. And now entering the last corner. He's low on battery, but will it be enough for him to try and get into or get out of the zone? It does. That's probably his final attempt. Got Wish Axe coming in to P11. Isco up to P10. On front of Will going for another lap, and AKB for his final run. Recon has to hover and no one improves on their lap. He's out of ERS. As from the tab, he's on low battery, that's why he didn't improve much on his lap. 3, 2, 1. Your flags out. Meanwhile, Trapsy on board with him for about half of that. And he tried to get into Q2 on his lap. See. P14 it is for now. We've got a few more drivers on for their laps. Recon get out of the way from Moxie. Stays in P15. Recon is out. Wishax goes to P9. AKB's in P12. Mopsy is out by nearly 300th of a second. Trapsy got a outstanding lap and 4 lap old tyres to get himself into Q2 with his teammate top of the timesheets with a 17.028. And that's qualifying over. We've got Isco and Unfunny Will into the pits, and that will be the end of Q1, and that is a that was a bit of a good qualifying. That was a lot of hype. Do we call it hype really? Basically, expectations for Portimao, tricky left-right handers, difficult corners, but at the end, Matt the Williams goes top with a 17.028, followed by Precise Plot, and then Chris in P3. And with Man Like Mark finishing P4, Harry P5, Will P6, Grim P7, George P8, Axe 9th, Stingers 10th, Isco 11th, AKB 12th, Jake P13, Lowry P14, Trapsy P15 with a good lap to finish at the end. The ones who are out are Mopsy in the Alpine P16 and 18.3, Recon in the Aston P17, 18.4, and 18.5 by Daniel in the Red Bull, who's P18. I'm going to quickly be back in a sec until we get Q2 running. sorry for that. We are just launching Q2 now. We got tyres where it's a bit more on the mediums than the rest. On there. Oh, Blurry with a 17.9, the bang as the first lap. Traps invalidated, he's going to go again. Grim says 17.3 on the softs. George 18.0 on the softs. Matt will go again. Chris a 17.7 on the mediums. Who are Stingers? 20.9, but he's going to go again. Obviously from AKB, he invalidates, that's what he will do. Harry invalidates, that's what he will do. You got Jake on the mediums, a bit wide out of the short hairpin. Now the long right hander trying to get a good rotation, flying the car up and taking the curb, and final corner. It's going to be a 18.6, even though he's getting sets of purple second sector. Well, Isco A6 and 18.9. That's 19.1. Man like Mark 17.7. Couple 3200th of a second quicker than Chris, so he's the highest medium runner at the moment. Who are Stingers? So he was going to set another lap. And it's going to be a 18.4. So the third medium runner, or AKB, trying to set at the moment 3 people on a lap, which will get there. Matt is in the pits. I think Traps is trying to continue. My English is not very good. AKB comes around the final corner, has no NG crossing the line, but goes P5 after all that. Harry has not invalidated. It goes P7, overtakes Stingers with the highest being the third medium runner. Isco goes a bit quicker but stays in that position. Jake is going to go again. Well, on front of will continue on this map. Meanwhile, Trapsy managed to keep it clean again. But will he get a quicker time than before? 19.104. So that is only a P11 spot. Draws on the softs again. Got on front of the wheel, starting a lap. We got a precise plot on the mediums. Matt coming out on the set of softs. So this will be a bit interesting. Another precise plot who is on their lap. Try and set A very nice mark if he wants to get a continued lap. Nice block coming to the final corner. Can it be the highest medium runner? It will be 17.699. Meanwhile, Matt 16.8. Okay, his car just went all the way to the left. Meanwhile, front of wheel has not yet a lap in at the moment. So the only one who hasn't had the lap in. He has 6 minutes remaining. And he's going to quickly dive into the pits. While Stinger's doing the lap on the mediums, trying to do another one. Right on board with him. Turn 1. 6 gear shot. Oh, it's a bit sketchy out of the first couple of corners. Now to this hairpin bit wide going out the corner. He's struggling with the grip at the moment. Goes out the corner. 800th down. Gets the apex nice. Getting the rotation in. Getting the apex nailed on. Okay. Stingers goes with right hand goes down a gear because he wants to get on settled car. Now Stingers this right hander trying to get a nice rotation in, and now enter goes the left hander 10.5 down. Probably just try and get a lap in if it makes his own mind. Now into this right to the second last corner, get the rotation in. Not as much rotation as before, but to go around to the final corner. Trying to find, slows down, enters the pits. We've got Chris, 3/10 up in the first sector. Third gear, and then tries to run a rotation going out that corner. 6/10 up. It's right about the top spot here at the moment. And now final corner gets to the third gear and gets a rotation on the curb. Now getting the car as much rotation as possible on the final corner to get the curb. Very nice. And it's going to be a 17.1. So not, it's only about around 3/10 off of Matt, but it's a good lap for Mercedes. We're guaranteed to place in Q3. At the moment, with about 3.5 minutes remaining. Stingers, Isco, Trapsy, Axe, and on front wheel will be out of Q2 if they don't pick up the pace. At the moment, Axe and Will are out on a lap. We've got George and AKB on a lap, or on an out lap. AKB behind Flurry, who just decides to let him through. There you go, Trapsy decides to go on the mediums. Now we're going to look on front wheel. Still yet has set a lap. We have 3 minutes remaining. Gets rotation and gets the curbs up ahead. See 22.2. Decent first sector. And now we get the car turned in. Matt Mark is out on track. Matt has retired in the pits. Guarantee a spot in Q3. Now on front of wheel. To this right hander, slow rotation. It's a bit slow corner there, but it's but when you get the apex right, it's good. Now enter the right hand, he has Trapsy right ahead of him. Trapsy has to let him go. It's a 52-2. Trapsy's not giving. I give a little bit of slowness. He might report that if he's out of Q2. Not sure. Just my thoughts. 2 minutes. It's P4. Probably a guaranteed spot nonetheless. Wish Axe. Around the final corner. A minute and a half remaining. I like markers on like that. Axe is on a lap. AKB starting his lap. Lorry goes P6 on the soft top. Well, George will be in P9. Well, Harry is improving on his lap. Sorry for the voice crack. Jakey invalidated. Well, Stingers down this time, so we'll lay off and go. That sounds weird. We'll go off and go again. Meanwhile, Trapsy, I think, is trying to get an improvement on a set of mediums. You will not get a guaranteed Q3. I'll tell you that. But will he try and get? I think he's trying to get a fast time on the mediums. First of all, I think it was P13 ahead of Isco, who's in the pits. On front of wheels into the pits. You are Harry. Short run to the line. Probably his final one. Goes P5. I like marks in the pressure zone. Goes P4, 17.5. Well, Axe. I was getting there just in time. Lorry. Didn't improve. And AKBs can go on for another lap. Narrowly missing the Ferrari of Harry right there. Well, Jake, if he gets an improvement, if he gets into, I think he wants to. Yeah, he didn't want to improve. He wants to go in that P11 spot. Stingers invalidates, so he will stay in P12. Meanwhile, Axe to the right hand, to the double right hander. He tries to get a good rotation up the, and that's a good rotation. Now to this right hander. The goal is to try and nail that apex and try to carry the car out. But he messes up on his lap. Because that could send him into Q3, but he messes that up going too wide out of that corner. So AKB is safe. I think once you get that feeling improvements on this lap. A bit slow on this lap. Harry going into the pits with Mark, and that is Q3 done. So we got Matt topping Q3 once again. That is it for qualifying. We'll get the results after we get one of those. Right, so there's result for Q3. Matt on top in the 116s now, followed by Chris in P2, We've got Grim in P3, Malak Mark in P4, On Funny Will in P5, Harry P6. Precise Plot will be in Q3 on the mediums. Lowry in 8th, AKB in 9th, and the two McLarens are safe, but not sure if George retired on track or actually crash. We'll see, but well, no, he did not say that, so he will be safe and be in Q3. The ones who we lost today, Jake, P11 in the Alpha Tower with an 18.2, Stingers in P12, the Mercedes with a 18.4, Trapsy P13, and the Williams with an 18.7, Isco P14, and the Red Bull with an 18.8, and Wish Axe in the Ferrari with 19.1, the slowest of all. Q2 is done with the strategies of the softs and the mediums. We'll wait and see until we can get into Q3 and have the top 10 shootout. We'll just wait until.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm here, and welcome back.
Here we go. Now Q3 is upon us. Right. Here we go, Q3 now. Malamark will start. Turn 1, he gets a decent to The top 10 shootout for pole. Now that Mark going for, oh, a bit sliding out of there, but it managed to be clean. 22.3. Nice to keep the car relatively well. What we saw in the first 2 qualifying sessions, it is the Williams of Matt against the Mercedes of Chris for pole position. There'll be some surprises. At the moment, those two are fighting for top spot in both qualifying sessions. Now Mark tries to get a nice strategy. Go for the left, 52.4. And now in second gear on the left-handers. Getting the car rotated, that's a good rotation. And now fourth gear, try and clip that curb as much as possible. It's like, look. Lowry. Spins. And 17.5, the banker from man like Mark. His teammate 17.7 behind. Meanwhile Grim goes top with a 17.2. Meanwhile Chris 17.0. That's in the big spot. There. Meanwhile Precise Plot. Around the final corner. 17.1. P2. Meanwhile is the man who topped both sessions. Matt 16.9 goes top by a 10th. Meanwhile Harry goes for a, I think he tries to get Delta, so that's why he's been doing the pits to try to get Delta. Meanwhile AKB going around the second last corner, getting the curve very nicely. And now entering the right hand side of the corner. 17.9 slows a bit all. It's P7. Meanwhile, Lowry. See Lowry in the Aston. Around the final corner. Goes P6 with a 17.7. Base on front wheel to go ahead. Meanwhile, George will go on the lap. I think Harry crossed the line because he wanted to do a recharge lap. We'll see from George. First sector, 22.1. Decent lap. It's been a bit dark and cloudy, as it's seen from the out from the sky. It's a bit grey, and the track's becoming a bit dark. Not sure if there will be track evolution. The track will be dry, but I think some drivers might probably want to go out of the pits to be safe in case there'll be some rain. We'll take a set by George. Now let's try to get a quick lap in. Second gear, try to get a nice rotation to this right-hander. Getting the curve very nicely. And now exiting the final corner. Very close to the wall. And out to this right-hander. Trying to get as much as possible. And it will be a 17.6 P6 for the McLaren. Meanwhile, oh, Harry has no front wing. Right. Everyone's 3 people coming up the pits. Grim, Matt and Will. Everyone just want to be safe in case there's a chance of it raining. So they've gone out just in case. Man like Marcus out on track. Precise Plot is coming out on track. We'll see if there will be any movement coming out of the pit lane. We have C. Laurie, AKB and Chris. AKB is coming out on track. Obviously from Mount Light Mark. Less than 5 minutes remaining. And I want to check if it will be raining. We've got C. Lorry coming out the pit lane. So we're just left with Chris, who wants to go for a second lap. Now Mount Light Mark entering. He made a bit of a mess up coming out this corner. Made a better one. And that was a 22-1 quicker in the first sector. Now getting the apex absolutely nailed on. Now we're trying to get a good run. Trying to get all of it slippy, it's twitchy coming out of that corner. And now Mount Light Mark coming around the slow round, and it's raining. The bits, drips of rain. So whoever's on track might have to, because the rain will pour down, and the worse it will be, the worse the track will get. Now Mount Light Mark going around the final corner. He was the first one to come out on track. Will this be the first one for Mount Light Mark? Let's see. 17.5, not an improvement he wanted. AKB's on the lap. CeeLo is going to be on the lap. Meanwhile, Matt around the final quarter, try and get a massive improvement. Try and keep himself away from Chris, who wants to keep a pole position. And he went quickest. 16.880. Grim made an error, so he's going to go again. Well, on funny wheel, he's going to go again. But it's just a question on how much time these drivers will get. Well, precise plot. It's a good second sector. AKB with retirement coming out of that uphill right-hander, the difficult corner which will spin you out if you're not careful. But can precise plot can take pole? No, he doesn't. 16.997. About a tenth off of Matt. That's a very close one. Well, from C. Lorry. Lorry. Now we're going around the final corner. Let's get a good apex. Still flat out of that corner. C. Lorry getting improvements on his lap. Goes down at the end. Not sure if he wants to go again or not. Well, Grim going around the final corner. Oh, it's 16.996, so 1 millisecond, and he managed to get ahead. Meanwhile, Chris, can he get pole? No, 17.0. So he did not improve, so he's on P4. Meanwhile, Mount Light Mark will go on a lap. Harry's and validated. Will just span out. Turn telemetry off. We'll see from Mount Light Mark's steering wheel. You see he has about nearly zero fuel in the moment. He's going to run out when he gets to the line. 0.2. 0.1. And he docks into the pits. Now from Harry, invalidate, so you'll start in P10. Chris can't improve, he'll go and stage in P4. Zilo's into the pits. So that's qualifying over. Matt on pole position by a tenth. A tenth separates Grim, Matt and Precise Plot. Chris will be in P4. Yeah, and as Chris enters the pit lane, they'll just cross over the line to finish it off. And there's your results for the race. Matt on pole position, tops all qualifying sessions at the moment. Grim in P2, Precise Plot in P3, 1 millisecond behind him. And Chris in P4, Malak Mark in P5, George in P6, Celery in P7, Will in P8, AKB P9, and Harry in P10. Check 0. So the 22001 by Matt and Precise Plot is the fastest of the first sector. For the second sector, 20 and on 29740. Oh, we didn't have time for that, so it was a bit of a waste. Sorry for that. Now this is for the race, and this is where everything will be. Right, here we are, the long-waited time for this. Turn that off. Here we are. Long-waited. The race is upon us now. Go for a rundown of the order. Matt and Grim will start on the front row, followed by Precise Plot and Chris. Precise Plot on the medium tyres. Malak Mark in P5 with George right beside him. Celery and on front of Will behind him. And then AKB and Harry share the last row in the last row in Q3. Followed by Jake, who let off the gas because he didn't want to go into Q3. He wants to get fresh softs for the race. Stingers in P12, followed by Trapsy, who chose to be on the mediums for today. Isco in P14, Axe in P15, Mopsy in the Alpine is on the mediums, followed by Recon and Daniel, the last row of the grid. So there's 3 people on the softs, 2 of their own choice, 1 on its own, and the 15 on the softs. 10 on the older softs. 9 on the older softs, while 6 are on fresh new tyres. We'll see if that will take their advantage. Meanwhile, Matt he blitzed his way off the field to do an on-formation lap. So he will be waiting a little bit of a while until everyone will be settled. Right, everyone settled on the grid. We'll see how the start will be at Portugal, the Portimao circuit. Here we go, the 5 red lights. And we go green in Portugal. It's a good start by Matt. It's an amazing start by the Alpha. He's trying to pick his way. Nearly 3-1 to turn 1 for the battle for P3. And Matt, and then Grim is out for a spin. And he's down the bottom. Meanwhile, Matt keeps his lead. Meanwhile, Precise Plot is going to be a battle between them. And it's Harry from P10. Could he try to go for a move for P3? but George is the back of him. Not sure there's front wing damage, but there's been a scramble going on around here. And Trapsy getting front wing damage from that. A lot of people behind him have front wings. So Trapsy will be down the back. You are Malamar getting the pass of George. You are Will trying to look for a move past McLaren. Looking a bit scared to do so. Around the final corner. He gets a bit of undercut through there. Good on. Oh, and there goes Mopsy. Oh, there goes a spin. And AKP's out. That's a VSC. And Mopsy retires. And that brings a full safety car. So that brings a lot of it to everyone who needs to pit under the first lap. But well, everyone who pitted, George, Lowry, Axe, Stingers and Trapsy pitted for the mediums. Trapsy with front wing damage. Some of them might have damage, but we'll see. No one's one to pit. Oh, Chris thinking, trying to dive people into pitting. Looks like we got a first pitter from Will. Recon stays out, Isco stays out. Does Daniel want to go and pit? No. Oh, Grim just a bit off track. What is the pit? Mediums. I don't know why Daniel is going very slowly. What is he doing? Jesus. Lowry managed to get past Will just in time. I still don't know what Daniel is doing. He just slowed down and let Grim past. Right. Penalties 0. 11th to 16th have made the stop. We can't make the most. But Daniel, Harry, Jake. Oh, we got. Oh, that is something. Got Trapsy, who decides to pit. Do you want to change tyre? I think those ones were the used ones. Trapsy chose to go on the hard tyre. Kind of smart. Because he's at the back, he won't rather use the hard half of the business. But he really needs to use them a lot. Because he can't go to the end, like 30 laps on them, because there might be a chance of another safety car. But if there's a chance of him trying to use probably a used set of mediums or something, or go on the soft tyres to the end, we'll see. Oh, this tyre choice. We see Axe just being gone. Does he have damage? Why is Grim on the Grim's out on track again? Coming back on. He is. It's way off the order. And it's at the back. Meanwhile, Matt will do the safety car restart for the beginning of lap 5. 29 laps remaining. Hopefully, no more safety cars after this. Even though it's the first one, we don't want another one. There we go. Matt with a bit of a shocker one, trying to get the most of it. A bit warm up the tyres. Meanwhile, Chris and Plot going side by side to turn 1. Chris has to go a bit wide to avoid that bit of contact with him besides Plot. Meanwhile, Jake and Harry are making a bit of contact at the moment. Taking contact with Harry, who struggles to come out of the corner. They're both going through, and Harry with a bit of a dive bomb. Try one on precise Plot as well. I think he's trying to stop it as much. Precise Plot is still finding it. Bit push with Harry. Thought Jake might want to get involved, but nothing at the moment. Oh. And Recon having a bit scrap. Got Daniel's bit losing ground. Got unfunny whip. Trapsy moving up to P11. Yeah, big one. Recon's trying to find a way to get past George. Trapsy trying to use I think the first 3 laps to try and get the hard tyres into control. At the moment, it's not working at the moment. Trapsy kind of has to use some ERS to go with the pack because around him, the hard tyres will be a bit. Will have a bit of a less wear than the others. Well, Isco and George have a bit of battle. George going ahead of Isco. Meanwhile, Raycon, with a bit of extra speed, stays back for collision. And I think Isco's trying to let him go through. Got contact between both. That means the Aston's trying to get a look through it. And he gets both. Then Trapsy goes to the inside of Recon. That's a brilliant move. Recon going down position or something. He's losing so much ground. Small understeer coming down the corner. Recon's losing a bit of control. Might be in favour of Daniel. With Unfunny, we're trying to look for the inside. There's nothing there in the moment. Trying to look for the right hand side. Matt saying the fastest lap of the race. Try and get ahead of Chris's DRS. Oh, and there goes Trapsy! DRS enabled, so telemetry will be turned on. But Trapsy lost so much ground to them. Like, what happened there? And now Wish Axe. Trying to get control of Unfunny Will. Who's now just using so much of the ERS to try and catch up. I'll make a dive bomb. We're on Matt, 64%. With Chris on about 40 to try and get in on Matt's DRS. Daniel and Rico now have a bit of their own scrap. Trap C losing control again. Chris managed to get the DRS. On to lap 8 now. We're on Malamark. Getting the move on Jake. It moves up to that P5 spot and out of it together. Obviously getting a 3-second time penalty. This adds to another one. Record. On front will pass in Recon. Jake now getting a time penalty. Now Grim off on track. Trapsy with a spin. Grim with another spin. Oh, there goes Matt. Aaron made the first pit stop. Matt and there we go, the other side. And Lowen making the switch back and makes it work. Axe and Recon making their own way, while Stingers trying to get outside. Very tricky corners. And Recon just let him through. Crafty get another 3-second penalty, and Jay get another 3-second penalty. And out on the inside, the Aston moves up to P6. But I think the Aston just let him out on purpose, so he can try to get the position of George. Chris and the fastest lap. Size plot is in the DRS. And Matt is now in the DRS. Chris gets a 3-second time penalty. Meanwhile, Sorry, with a bit of a mistake on that corner. Now a little bit losing ground to Matt in front of him. Does not have the DRS. Oh, Daniel trying to look for that bit of a lunge, try and fake see L'Oreal. Now Jake with a penalty. Another penalty of this session. Now funny, we're with a bit of dive bomb coming to the right hander. Daniel has to leave him room. He's not expecting that move. So Matt trying to overtake George, but doesn't want to because he knows that he knows that there's a stop finish straight right there if he tries to overtake him. Bill managed to get the move on Daniel, and now Matt using the ERS. Use it, and now use a lot of all of his ERS to try and get that overtake on George. Heading now up to P5 and Trap C with another 3-second time penalty. and in the gravel. Isco with, and now Axe, trying to look on Isco, but nothing's happening yet. Precise plot. We look for a move on Mercedes, because Mercedes in some of its battery, and from the flash is out of ERS. Alpine loves to see that because he knows that Mercedes has nothing in the tank. Well, George using some of his ERS to try and get a capture, and Matt got on funny wheel, looking for the move on the Aston. And a very sharp tactic by the Aston to try and keep that position. Well, there goes George. Spins and lost some of the ground. Now precise plot, just using some of the energy. We got Chris trying to save some to protect himself. Trapsy, 5-second penalty, speed in the pit lane. Lap 12, 17, 3, 6, 3, 9, 3. Will this be the start of an overtake by precise plot, because they both are just running away with it. Another one where there's no energy. Precise plot stays where he is, and as Mallow, Mark and Matt are both pitting. Bit long enough on the soft tyres. And Recon's behind them. There's the hard tyres. There's the hard tyres. And there's the hard tyres. So 3 of them on the hard tyre to go to the end with 20 laps on those tyres. While C. Laurie and Front Wheel having their own kind of scrap at the moment. From Front Wheel getting that position done and up to P4. While C. Laurie's trying to hit the back of on Front Wheel. Now let's see from C. Laurie. Bit on the both of them over on the steer. Singer's trying to look at the back of Isco. Car's gone all over the place there. But we'll see from C. Laurie. Can he try to get the position on Front Wheel? Now C. Laurie trying to look at the back of Front Wheel. And Jake's going for the undercut. Does the undercut work from Matt like Mark? Can he get Jake? He can. And Jake. The undercut and moves up to P12 ahead of. Oh! Nice Trapsy. Oh, and George gets it. Contact between Isco. Contact between both of them. Water leader is 34 seconds, or 30 seconds from Mark. Does Chris want to pit? He saved a bit of energy. Does he want to go in the pits? Yes. and he goes in. So Precise Plot will lead this race with a bit of a massive gap. Hard tyres on for the Mercedes driver. Daniel's in the pits. We'll see from Malo Mark. Oh, he's coming around the final corner. He's coming around the final corner now. So Chris will get the upper hand. He's coming out the pits. A bit slow one, to be honest. Harry's on the medium, so I don't know what his plan is at the moment. And Precise Plot, and the lead runner on the mediums, and now on to lap 16. They are about to be we're about to have a half. Well, we're about to be halfway through this race. Isco into the pit lane. Meanwhile, Harry's using a bit of his energy. Chris managed to save a bit of his energy. And then here's Matt. There's some of the energy to come up to Jake. Is he going to use some of it? No, he's trying to use some of it to try and get past. But decides to let it off. Because if Matt overtakes Jake, there's a massive difference if he wants to get to Malo Mark. Oh, and there goes George. Now here's Matt to try and look for that move on Jake. To P9. But it'll be a top 5 spot, I think. Taking that boost and using some of it to get past the AlphaTauri, who has 9 seconds of penalties, and Matt is up to P9. Jake trying to find a look for a move to fight back. Trying to put Matt into a mistake. And use some of the energy to try and fight back. Trying to look for a move, a big dive bomb. That was a good fight there from Jake. Matt going sketchy out of that corner. Now see, Laurie's trying to break the mark, or Matt gets a penalty. I think Matt probably knows the tactic in the moment, so he has to try and stick behind Jake for the second DRS zone, so that he can try and get the position with contact with him. Now use the energy. Goes for a massive dive bomb on the outside. Bit tug between him. Contact with Matt up to P9 and to block off any attack. Jake, who gets another penalty, and it's Squeamish coming out that corner. Now, with Chris, the gap to hit to the leader, Precise Plot, is 24 seconds. I'm not sure when Precise Plot wants to pit. We've got first medium runner pit in is Axe. For another set of mediums. Well, he was on a soft, so it's a two-stop basically from the Ferrari. And so he'll come out the pits, mainly ahead of Red Bull, who's on the hard tyre. Okay, trap sees out. Will that bring our safety car? Not sure. But that put man like Mark into a spin, which a bit helped Matt at the moment because he can try and get a bit. He can try to get a bit of a head start on it because Mark has to like slowly with the car because he has the overheating, so trying to be a bit slow. Now Stinger's in the pits for the set of medium tyres because he started on the softs. Jake on the meters note. Chris gets another pen. Now Matt might have a goal trying to try and get DRS of the Mark. So we've got 3 for Precise plus 6 for Chris, 3 for Harry, 3 for Matt, 15 for Jake, 3 for Axe, 3 for Stingers, 3 for Go, and 6 for George. Right, see Lorry, next one to pit. There's a medium tyres coming on. Meanwhile, Matt got rid of Jake for Dost. Now has the back of Mark, who now has no energy. He now gets DRS, but has to wait because he was not close enough for that. Now interval to leaders now down to 23 seconds, so it shows that the tyres are showing a bit. There's a 20 lap on the tyres, will go down, and Matt going for the dive bomb ahead of Mark. Bit on the dive bomb, trying to get a good exit out of the corner. Mark's trying to keep a nose in there, but he might have to back off, not sure. Matt will go ahead of Mark. Matt going a bit sketchy out of that corner, and they both have no ERS. Matt a bit slow but gets the apex. His Precise Plot is in the pits. Soft tyres on. Now we'll see from Chris what will happen on Funny-Wheel pits. But does Chris get the jump on the Alpine? There's Precise Plot. And there goes Chris. He's in the lead. But Chris is crucially on new tyres. He's on the new tyres, and Matt's up to P4. And Matt's escaped the threat of Mark. Harry, and there's Precise Plot. He's on a bit new tyres, new soft tyres. And Chris up to first, is in first place, but Precise Plot behind is on the new one. Mark trying to pressure Matt. Well, it's go. Goes in there and just retires on track. And left the session. We go down to lap 23. Precise Plot with about full battery and on new tyres can just leave Chris for dust. He can use some of the ERS to overtake the Mercedes and gets into P1. Meanwhile, Matt saves some ERS, is going to use some of it down the straight. Meanwhile, Mark use some of his, but C Lorry overtaking AlphaTauri Jakey for P7. And he gets that move done, and his next target is Will, who's been fine for a while. Mark using some of the ERS, but he has to use some of it because Matt's pace on these tyres is a bit quick. That P4 spot, all a bit sketchy coming out of that corner. Now we're about to go to the last 10 laps of this race, and Matt has to hope that he can keep it. He's trying to keep his tyres as cool as possible. Or Harry in P3, so might be on a bit old and medium tyres, so depends on how much he will push or something. Let's try to get the pace at risk. He's getting that position because on Pens he has 3 extra seconds of that. That could mean anything. Away goes George. Spin in P13. Meanwhile, Mark getting the DRS of Matt. So still not in there. And then Mark's trying to use some of it, so Wilking trying to catch up because don't know for something. So I get some points for the Alpha team. And I might run a bit wide. Not sure if Mark can make a mistake. Matt's trying to use other tyres to get rid of the DRS. Matt's trying to use a lot of his energy now. Did he escape Mark's DRS? We'll see. Yes, he does. He escapes the DRS. So that's a bit more of a saviour at the moment. Lap 25 of this race. Finally Will trying to catch up to his teammate. Who's trying to catch up to Matt, who's managed to break through DRS and is now trying to get as much pace as possible. Not sure how it's a recon. Oh, he's just standing there. we're looking at that. I think Mark lay off the gas a bit for Will to get the DRS, so he can slingshot him with those new fresh mediums. Good trying to slingshot to try and get Matt. Yeah, I think Mark knows that Will is a bit quicker now on those fresh tyres, so he lets him go so he can get a battle there. Meanwhile, the AlphaTauri and Ferrari are having a battle, going side by side to the right hander. Who's gonna be lay on the brakes? The AlphaTauri's not letting go, which leads to him to get a pen, but ahead of the Ferrari. The Ferrari try to get better traction on the tyres, but didn't improve anything. Let's take a look at this. It's Art versus Jake, and Art takes position. The AlphaTauri is trying not to hold back. Gives a good show and tries to get the switch back. Now getting use of the DRS system. Trying to make a dive bomb on the Ferrari. That didn't work. While Mark overtaken on front of Will. While there's Recon up ahead. Oh, Matt. Well, there's 7 laps to go. 7 laps to go. Matt is clear of the 3-second window. And now going to try to hunt down Harry on these tyres, because lap after lap, the hards are going to get quicker. And the medium's going to get slower. Well, the Aston is right behind them, so the strategy did not perfect their laps. So here comes Jake, overtaking the Ferrari and moving up to P8. Ferrari's not going to try and give it in. They will get cut back in. Use some of the energy now. On the curb and get on the power as much as possible. Now in the slipstream and gets the dive bomb and moves up to P8. So it's much enjoyable as what we see. And the VSC is out. Recon lost his wing. We'll see who might get the cheeky drive-through. Harry with a 3-second penalty. Who now pits on the VSC, which Matt is happy about. What's a pit stop? It's the soft tyres coming on. Recon gets a 3-second penalty. VSC a little longer, and Jay gets a 3-second penalty as soon as the VSC started, and Harry gets a drive through for speeding on the VSC. DRS is enabled. Meanwhile, the Aston's in the back of the two those are the two Alfa Romeos. Will with a bit of a lower tyre age than C Lorry, and Harry's already gone and done out. But he's too far out to get a safety car, so the Ferrari will not have anything. So Matt, all he needs to do is try to keep the car as much as possible. 4 laps to go. So Matt, all he needs to do is just try to keep it calm. Try to get something at the end. While the Aston's still trying to get a fight with the two Alfa Romeos, with Will and Malamark have a bit of DRS to use. And Recon is out. Bring out safety car, I doubt it. Will saving ERS from Mark, and Mark using a bit of ERS. C Lorry is has the lowest out of the 3 of them. Now entering sector 2, and C Lorry gets a pen for that. So he is out of the fight for the P4 spot unless they get a pen. Oh, it gets a bit oversteer out of that corner, so that was a bit shaky. Another one from Jake. 3 laps to go. Precise plot is just basically cruising at this point. But I'm front of wheel trying to get a bit of a slingshot to get up close to Mark. These 3 are still in that DRS thing. Now it looks like Unfunny Will might trying to get an opportunity to pass Mark. He tries to not make any mistakes because Mark's trying to like just feast on it. 2 laps to go. Precise plot start lap 32. Now Unfunny Will using the ERS to try and get up close to Mark. Mark going defensive, Unfunny Will around the outside. It's slow from both of them, which probably might give the Aston a bit of a little taste of position. Gap for fastest lap. Size plot with a 17.9. The next one's in 19.2, so about 1.3 seconds quicker than the rest of the field on his fastest lap attempt. And now a few penalties are now sticking in. Meanwhile, on the last lap of this race, the size plot is now starting this lap. Meanwhile, about for P4, looking interesting. With Unfunny Will just trying to get Mallow Mark in the DRS. Unfunny Will trying to get Mark in the DRS. There's always a bit happening in the moment. Meanwhile, Jake looking for another move on the Ferrari of of Axe and gets the position done for P7. But does the Ferrari want to go for that move? Let's go for the switch back. They use the energy, try to get something, and now we'll try to get. Oh, meanwhile in this battle, Precise Bullock gets a 3-second pen and marks in a spin. Everything's happening, but we've got to quickly look at this man, the Alpine, Precise Plot. He's on 6 seconds of pens, but comes across the line. Good strategy for him. Slows, and it's a dominant race win. He wins in Portugal. And Chris finishes in P2 with Matt coming across the line. Finish in P3. On Funny Will finish in P4. P5 for C. Laurie. Jakey in P6. Mark trying to get to that P7. They all get P6 by the end. Axe in P7. Jake in P. Nope, Stingers in P8. Jake in P9. There's Daniel. Daniel's in the final points position. George there, but gets P9 at the end. And what a race that was! That was a good race, good strategy from All Out, and there's a lot of things happening in that race today. Oh, I skipped it. I skipped it. Sorry for that. Sorry for that. So the Alpine and Precise Plot winning in Portimao with Chris in P2, followed behind Matt, who takes a podium to his name. On front of Wim P4 behind. C. Laurie managed to get P5 at the end. Malak Mark in P6. Axe P7. Stingers P8. Daniel P9 managed to get Jake at the end. And George finishing P11 but was lapped. Harry, the DNFs. Harry in P12. Recon P13. Isco P14. Chopsy P15. Grim P16. Mopsy P17. AKB in 18th. That's the end of it, and hopefully everyone had enjoyed that. It was a bit sketchy at the end, but for that it was not bad. That's it, and I like that.